Today's lesson is how to connect to your higher guidance. First of all, you have to understand who you are connecting to. And remember that the knowledge that I share with you is what I have learned from my own guides, from my own connections. I do soul readings, therefore I interpret the pictures and the symbols that I see, but I believe that everyone can do this. So if we truly want to connect to the other side and hear our guidance and being able to get our own answers, we have to look for the tools that will help us do that. The first thing we have to do is learn how to interpret our dreams. And our dreams are probably the first step in really understanding the messages that life gives us. But more importantly, it helps us to understand our soul's connection to life, the physical life, as well as to the other side. I wrote a book, It All Begins Here, Interpreting Your Dreams, and I believe that dreams are the first tool in understanding and connecting to your higher guidance and to be able to get your own messages. Remember, it's not important that you connect to your higher guidance through intuition. It's important that you allow yourself to live knowing that you have the guidance and that there is a part of you that is wiser and more in place with God's steps. So what we want to do in this life is to live true to us, which means living true to God. And the reason for connecting to the outer world, which is our higher guidance, and knowing how to trust your intuition is because it gives us direction and it helps us feel better about us. So start with your dreams. Remember, you are everyone in your dreams. Whatever that person means to you, that is the role they're playing in your dreams. And so it's very important that you learn to interpret your dreams by saying, what does that person mean to me? For my clients, if they dream about me, I always tell them I represent your intuitive self. If my sister dreams about me, then I know that that is a twin aspect of her because I am a twin. If my son dreams about me, it's the part of him that is the nurturer. Therefore, you have to say in one word, what does that person mean to you? And in doing that, you are able to understand the role they're playing in your dream. So once you start interpreting your dreams, once you start remembering them, as you begin to journal about them or even begin to work on remembering them, you begin to have more dreams. And the messages become brighter and clearer, and suddenly you begin to realize that things are happening for you on an intuitive level that's giving you the direction in life that you need. Secondly, another tool that you can use is my symbol cards. You can find them in and on my website, MaryJoMcCabe.com. They are wonderful in helping you find your own answers. They are a quick way to overcome the emotion. Many of us like to get our answers, but we don't know how to do it because we want to hear what we want to hear, and the emotions influence what we're receiving. So the cards, the symbol cards, are a wonderful way for you to remove yourself emotionally. There are 52 cards, and they are the most popular symbols, the most used symbols that I use in doing my own readings for my clients. Therefore, you can utilize these cards on my website and be able to get your own answers. The cards represent yes and no answers. They also give you daily messages, and they also answer your questions in more of an explanation other than yes and no. And they're good. They're intuitive. They get you in touch with your soul, and they help you to connect to that part of you that is wise. Also, another method that you can use to get your own answers is to find a book that you feel close to, that you feel you have a connection to. Many people use their spiritual books for this, the Bible, or any book that makes you feel connected or that helps you feel connected to God. And you hold the book in your hand and you just let the pages open. And if you trust what you see on those 2 pages, great, but you'll find your answer. Also to know that when you go to the bookstore to buy a book, you can do that same exercise to find out if this is the book for you. Not a book that's a novel or a mystery, but a self-help book, an intuitive book, or a spiritual book. You can hold it in your hands. You can say, okay, God, show me. Is this the book for me? And open the pages. And if those 2 pages make sense to you, then it's your book. If not, put it back on the shelf. A third thing in which you can do is learn to interpret life's messages. That is what's happening in your life around you. And pay attention to the birds, wonderful, wonderful beings of light that are there for man's messages. And so we can get our messages by looking at the birds. Years ago, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross told me that when she would give a lecture, she would look for several things when she walked out on the stage to know what kind of lecture she needed to give. If she saw a book, or if she saw someone with a red rose in the audience, she knew that that was God speaking to her to talk about grief and dying. If she saw someone doing something else, then that was her symbol. She learned to listen to her symbols because in that was God's voice. And that's what we all want to hear, and that's what we all want to connect to, our higher guidance. So we start interpreting what's happening in our physical life, and we start noticing the things in our world that mean something to us that draws our attention. Try to understand that in order to do that, there are very few symbols that you need to learn to truly be able to utilize these, not only in interpreting your dreams, but also interpreting life's messages. House, anytime you dream about a house, anytime anything is going wrong in the house, it represents how you're thinking. If you have your home and suddenly the pipes burst, water is emotion. So when you find that your house is being flooded, when you find that your commode is stopped up, that just means, what does the commode do? Use your common sense. Interpret it in a very simplistic way. Remember, God is simple. Therefore, the commode is stopped up. That means you are stopped up with your emotions. You need to do something to plunge it, to let go of it, to connect to it so that you can release it. But when water is leaking in your home, it just means that you're allowing your emotions to control how you're thinking. Remember, house is thought. Emotion is water. And anytime you see that in any part of your life, it is exactly what it's saying. Water, emotion. House, mental world. How you're thinking. Also know, baby is always a new beginning. That is easy. So there are things that you can create. There are things that you can connect to that truly help you understand you on a better note. Your car, the car you drive, represents your physical body. So if you find that your car is not running correctly, that's because you're not working right. Your physical body is not in top shape. Also know that if you have a tire that goes out or that you have a need to change engines, you're changing you, you're changing your body. And so you're tired, pay attention. Your car represents your physical body. I live my life by these 3 symbols. And I know that if we just start there, we can really begin to connect and to hear our higher guidance, God's voice. Thank you.